Hey y'all, it's Jacqueline at Pixie Dust PhD, and I am so excited to share with you that I will be making my triumphant return to Disneyland out in California. This will only be my second time going as an adult. I did go for a couple days in 2022 with my partner and my best friend. This trip is going to have a considerably different flavor, so let me tell you about it. We'll walk through kind of the main steps and considerations for the trip, the first, of course, being timing. The timing in the year very much was dictated by the fact that I am trying to host my family, so my older sibling, their partner, and their 3 children. The eldest child there is in fact in grade school, so we have to work with the school calendar. I had kind of assumed we might go in the summer, but my sibling really wanted to do spring break instead. So looking at the spring break points charts then, based on the amount of points I owned at the Villas at Disneyland Hotel, so my Disney Vacation Club home resort, I could host them for 3 or 4 nights, and I let my sibling choose. They picked 3 nights, and then they picked the timing within that spring break timeframe. So spring break, I believe, starts Friday. I think they get early release, and then they will have Saturday at home, and then they will fly out on Sunday, and we're doing Sunday through Wednesday. So the 3 nights we'll be staying together are Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night. Again, I fully left this up to my sibling. I really just said, let me know what you and your partner decide, and I'll handle it. But I do currently live on the East Coast, so going all the way out to the West Coast is a little bit of a slog, especially the flight back basically takes the whole day when you take the time change into account. So when I fly out there, I like to try to make a week of it really, longer than a few days. So this will come up a little bit in the rest of the video. Notably, basically after I'm done at Disneyland, my partner and myself are gonna head up to Napa in Northern California, and my best friend's gonna meet us there. So kind of a 2-for-1 vacation. In terms of accommodations, of course, we are making good use of our Disney Vacation Club points. So we will be staying at the Villas at Disneyland Hotel. This is literally specifically why I bought in there. It will be our first time staying there. I am so excited. And as this trip was taking shape, my partner and I realized that if we only went to Disneyland while our family was also there, that trip's gonna be dictated by the kids, as it should. But my partner and I want to go on the Incredicoaster. We want to go on Mission Breakout, their version of Tower of Terror. We want to stay out late. We want to do some drinking. We still want to enjoy Disneyland for us too. So then we decided, well, let's give us a couple days alone. Meaning that now, just instead of Sunday through Wednesday with the family, we are going out a couple days early. So then when thinking about booking villas at Disneyland Hotel 11 months in advance, it got split up into 2 segments. There's the first chunk that will be a studio just for my partner and myself, and then we will move to a 2-bedroom villa that's big enough to where we can host my family. Again, we did have home resort priority, so I was able to book this 11 months in advance. I'll go ahead and throw it to past Jacqueline to take you through that process.
Good morning. It is about 7:55 a.m. on Sunday, April 28th. We're going to go ahead and try to book the first couple nights of our Disneyland trip. Here's a summary of my vacation points. We're heading to Disneyland in March to April of 2025, so that will be in my August 2024 use year. And all 128 of those available points are Disneyland points, so they are eligible to be used. Then for my August 2025 points, those are a mix of Disneyland points and Bay Lake Tower points. My Bay Lake Tower points are restricted, so I won't be able to use those, but I've got the 150 from Disneyland. So it's not quite time, but let's just peek at availability. I did look last night and it looked fine. It didn't seem like I needed to walk my reservation, which kind of is cheating. It's technically allowed. I just think it's a little discouraged. It's maybe not the nicest thing to do to your fellow Disney Vacation Club members, but anyway, it looked good last night. Let's just double check right now. So for this first portion of the stay, it's just going to be my partner and I heading out a couple days earlier before the rest of my family joins in. We'll be looking for 2 nights, so the nights of the 28th and 29th. Just want a studio, just want to look at Disneyland. And we budgeted just for the standard view. And yeah, so this looks totally fine. Here's the duo, also looks fine, which this is the cheapest you'll get away with. And the duo preferred. And the duo garden, this will be the one with the patio or balcony. That's more booked, in recent months, comparatively, for sure. There's the deluxe preferred. Oh, the deluxe studio garden is already taken. Just that weekend, though. That's interesting. All right, I'm just going to wait for it to turn to 8 o'clock, and then I'll hit update up here to refresh the search, and we'll get going. All right, I'm just looking at time.gov on my phone here. I highly suggest time.gov if you're ever doing anything down to the second. So for virtual queues for boarding groups for rides at Walt Disney World, this is what we use, and I think this is partially why we've never failed. And 3, 2, 1, 8 o'clock. We'll hit update. I'm still not sure like exactly the order of buttons you have to go in. Okay, so now we're booking these 2 nights, which is perfect. Just double checking my notes. That is what we want. And yeah, it's only letting me take from my Disneyland contract because my points on my Bay Lake Tower contract are not eligible. Also note, I will have to pay transient occupancy tax when I stay, which I know and is part of my vacation planning. For these nights, I think it's gonna end up being like $78 a night. Okay, apparently you don't have to fill out the guests right away, so I'm just gonna skip that for now out of laziness. So 54 points, 27 points each. Bill is a Disneyland Hotel, March 28th through March 30th, 2025. It's coming out of my Disneyland contract. Yeah, from my 2024 use year. You can see I still have all of my 2025 use year points. And you can't really change that. Like, it's not gonna let you borrow before you use available points. Yeah, looks good. Disneyland Hotel, first 2 nights. Here we go. Hooray, congratulations. Awesome. And we'll do it again in a couple days for the 2-bedroom villa. And here's the points summary. So my vacation is in March of 2025, which is contained in my August 2024 use year. I had 128 points left. I've used 54 for this booking, so I have 74 remaining. And you can click view point summary to view a more detailed breakdown. So I didn't do anything with holding or banking or borrowing or transferring. It's just kind of what I had available to me. And you'll note I didn't have to borrow any points. My trip is not until March of 2025, which is again in my August of 2024 use year that had points available. I am booking right now in April of 2024, which is in my August of 2023 use year, which has no points, but your borrowing situation is based on when your vacation date is, not your booking date. Yep, 74 points left. And this is all 150 for the Disneyland contract. And let's go ahead and add a guest. All right, now both my partner and I are on this reservation. Very successful morning. See you again in a couple days.
Honestly, going into this, I was a little bit worried about the studios, but I figured right at 11 months it should be fine, and I'm glad that panned out. Then here's a look a couple days later at booking the 2-bedroom.
Hello. It is just shy of 8 a.m. on Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. This will be our booking day for our 2-bedroom villa at Bill's a Disneyland Hotel for March, April of 2025. I did check availability last night and it looked totally fine, but I think there's only something like 18 lock-offs and 20 dedicated 2-bedrooms at Bill's a Disneyland Hotel, so pretty small inventory overall. I'm definitely in play it safe mode. I actually have to adjust the travel party count for once. It's always only just been me and my partner basically, so I leave it at the default 2, but here we are. And we'll be staying Sunday night through Wednesday, so 3 nights total. My partner and I are arriving probably Friday. We have a studio booked for Friday night and Saturday night, so a nice long-ish stay at Bill's a Disneyland Hotel. And now we'll just wait for the clock to tick over to 8 a.m. and we will hit search and do our booking. Once again, I'm referencing time.gov on my cell phone for the official real time. And once we hit 8 a.m., I'll go ahead and scroll down to hit book. It's about 10 seconds now. Okay, check availability. This is taking a long time. Okay. Oh, I forgot to hit only 2-bedroom. We'll do the lock off. 195 vacation points. These 3 nights. Okay, again, I can only use my Villas at Disneyland Hotel contract. My Bay Lake Tower contract is resale restricted, so I cannot use those points. I have 74 points left in the use year of this trip, but I still have all 150 for the next use year that I can borrow from. And so we will hit borrow from my 2025 use year. You only need 121 to finish this, so I will only borrow 121. Borrowing is a final transaction. Once you confirm, these become borrowed vacation points, meaning their use year effectively changes. So you can still edit them now, but we're good with what we need. Transient occupancy tax warning. It doesn't tell you how much in this little pop-up. In my budget spreadsheet, though, these are going to be about $187 a night. Okay, we'll add the rest of the travel party later. All right, 3-night stay. We check in March 30th. We're checking out April 2nd, so we're staying the nights of the 30th, 31st, and April 1st. And we're using points from my Villas at Disneyland Hotel contract. Book this room. Congratulations! Your reservation's confirmed. Fantastic. So we have 29 points remaining in our 2025 use year. And you can view the point summary here. Again, how you use your points. So I borrowed in 121 points. I had 74 available. None in holding, none banked, none transferred. 195 total for this booking. Okay, let's go ahead and view my dashboard. So August 2025, I now have 119 points. This is 29 on my Villas at Disneyland Hotel contract and all 90 on my Bay Lake Tower contract. And then my vacation plans, you can see we have March 28th through 30th. This is the studio. And then March 30th through April 2nd. This is the 2-bedroom lock-off villa. Disneyland, here we come.
My partner and I had decided before this booking day that the lock-off configuration just would work better for the 4 adults and 3 kids. So I was really hoping to get a lock-off, and again, knowing that the lock-offs are dependent on the studios, I was a little bit nervous about it, but everything went fine. Honestly, home resort priority takes so much stress out of Disney Vacation Club. The result of this then is 11 months in advance, we had successfully secured a studio and a 2-bedroom for the villas at Disneyland Hotel. All in all, I would have been totally happy if that worked out. But 4 months later, we did go on the waitlist to swap out our studio at Villas at Disneyland Hotel for a studio at the Grand Californian. Now, the Grand Californian is incredibly in demand. It's a very, very tough place to book, sometimes even when you have home resort priority. So I certainly wasn't getting my hopes up, but it would be awesome if we could stay there. For the season that we were traveling, the cost of the deluxe studio at the Villas at Grand Californian was more points than the Villas at Disneyland Hotel, but I did have those points to spare. Plus, if we were able to successfully stay at the Villas at Grand Californian, not only one, would that just be super cool, like a dream bucket list thing to do, but 2, there would be no transient occupancy tax then. So yes, more points, but less money. You decide what matters to you more. I did go ahead and make that waitlist request right at 7 months in advance, so that would have been late August. And again, I wasn't getting my hopes up, so I really didn't think much of it. But then one random day in December, I did get that magical email from Disney Vacation Club about my trip cancellation notification for the studio at the Villas at Disneyland Hotel. And I knew that could only mean one thing, that my waitlist request was in fact granted. Therefore, back in December, the accommodation sketch for the trip was 2 nights in a studio at the Grand Californian, and then we move over to Villas at Disneyland Hotel for 3 nights in a 2-bed lock-off. Then after that, we go to Napa, which had always been a 3-night hotel situation. And then over time, the trip continued to develop. We were looking at flying out either on Thursday or Friday, with our studio stay starting on Friday. And we did also have a free Hilton reward night that was expiring in July that we figured if we weren't going to use it elsewhere, we could use it here. So the flight prices for Thursday were actually really good. We decided just to go ahead and use that free Hilton night to cover that one night of the hotel. In sum, the accommodations are a single night for arrival night at a Hilton in the Disneyland Resort area, 2 nights in a studio at the Villas at Grand Californian, 3 nights in a 2-bed lock-off at the Villas at Disneyland Hotel, and again, we're doing 3 nights in a hotel in Napa. Now that accommodations and flights were more or less set, it's time to really start sketching out the trip. The whole group, all 7 of us, me and my family, will be there Sunday through Wednesday, and then prior to that, it will just be my partner and I. We are arriving on Thursday, but we will not be entering the theme parks that day. So Friday and Saturday are our key days for theme parks with just us 2 adults. So here then is a look at the overall schedule. In sum, my vacation is about a week and a half, even though I'll only be with my family for like 3 days. Then it was time to figure out theme parks. We are staying on property, so I do have dreams of taking advantage of early entry. Unfortunately, you can't like 100% confirm early entry until the daily events calendar is out, which it seems like they only do about 6 weeks in advance, but we had a pretty good guess based on past patterns, and that did end up being true. My partner and I will arrive on Thursday, and we will not go into a theme park that day. Then Friday, it's DCA early entry, and Saturday, it's Disneyland early entry, and we are planning to go to those parks. Sunday, my family is arriving. They'll be taking a very early flight, so they are planning on going into Disneyland that day. My partner and I are deciding to take a day off the theme parks and just kind of like rest, relax, chill. My partner and I did thoroughly discuss different ticket lengths, and also I had a video about this with my Ko-fi members. Thank you so much for all of your advice and input. We knew we would need at least a 3-day park ticket, but we were debating between maybe 4 or 5 days as well. A 5-day park ticket, though, would be going into the parks every single day we were there. 5 days honestly feels a little excessive for Disneyland. It is only 2 theme parks. And also, I think we just wanted to make sure that we had some time to chill and enjoy the resort. I'm quite certain we're gonna go pretty hard on Friday, and then maybe Saturday we'll take it a tad bit slower, but there's just a lot that we're going to want to accomplish before the kids arrive. So I figured by Sunday we would be pretty tired. Maybe we just sleep in, chill out, we've got some good meals planned, no park on Sunday. Then Monday is DCA early entry and Tuesday is Disneyland early entry. These are the parks we made reservations for, both myself and my partner, as well as my family. I'm not sure if my family will want to do rope drop early entry, but at least the option is there. Overall, my partner and I settled on those 4-day tickets, so we'll be entering the theme parks on Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then my family has 3-day tickets. They'll be going into the parks Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Then we'll all leave on Wednesday. Now, part of the reason it took so long for us to decide about if we were going to go into the theme parks on Sunday or not was nighttime spectaculars. It works considerably different out in Disneyland than it does at Disney World. Specifically, there definitely are not nighttime spectaculars every single night. So while we're there, Fantasmic is running, but not that Monday or Tuesday that we're there. So we could see Fantasmic Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but of course without Sunday, that means Friday and Saturday only. Thankfully, World of Color 1 is running every single night, so that did take some pressure off. That being said, my sibling said that they would like the children to stick to their normal routine, their normal bedtime, which means I think that they will not be going to World of Color 1. We'll see if that ends up being true or not in reality, but that's the plan going in. So even though World of Color 1 is running on Monday and Tuesday, and maybe my partner and I can like sneak out after the kids are down to go back and watch it, it didn't feel like a day we'd want to like have a dining package for it or book the dessert party, etc. And then the castle show while we're there is Mickey's Mix Magic. This is going to have fireworks Thursday through Sunday. Again, we're only in the parks though Friday and Saturday. And then Monday and Tuesday they're doing the show, but just the projections, no fireworks. So I'm basically now stuck in the dilemma of these things are all really important to me. I think rank order is this. It's Fantasmic is more important to me than World of Color, which is more important to me than Mickey's Mix Magic. But all of these things I want to experience, and I kind of only have Friday and Saturday to do them, just with the kids' bedtimes and unpredictability and everything. So here is the general plan. My partner and I are arriving midday Thursday. The flight would have to go so super wrong for us to be that late that we would miss fireworks. Now, we aren't entering the parks, but maybe we watch the fireworks from a distance viewing location. I don't know if that's the hotel. I don't know if that's just the Esplanade. I'll ask a cast member and see what they have to say if that ends up being something that we're interested in doing. Honestly, I think we're going to be pretty tired, so we might just crash. Then for Friday, we decided to book the World of Color dessert party. Objectively, it's probably a ripoff in that it's like $90 for what is likely a little sad plate of desserts, but what I am paying for is the seat and the very good view of World of Color without having to like stand and jockey for position and enter the virtual queue, all those things. So this very much is a splurge, and I recognize that. And everything that I've gathered about the timing of these things is it would be very hard to do nighttime stuff in both parks on the same night. So World of Color and the fireworks, or World of Color and Fantasmic. It's not impossible, just a little bit challenging. So the plan is to do the first World of Color showing this night, and then hopefully maybe we can slink over to the other park and catch the second Fantasmic showing, but I'm not banking on it. Therefore, Saturday, what I'm hoping to accomplish is to watch the fireworks from Main Street and then go to the second Fantasmic showing, which we will hopefully achieve via dining package. This does make me nervous though, because we are then putting off Fantasmic until the last showing of Saturday, which means we won't have another opportunity to see it if we mess up the schedule or if weather messes things up, etc. But I don't know. This is just the way it worked out when my partner and I were going through the plan and trying to shuffle stuff around. This is the version that just made the most sense. So definitely crossing my fingers that that works out. Then once my family comes in, it's all bets off. Sunday, again, maybe we watch the fireworks from a distance location. I'm not too sure. Then Monday and Tuesday, if the family wants to do World of Color and wants to look at projections on the castle or back at Small World or wherever else they do the projections, like I, of course, would be happy to. If they are already down and settled in the hotel and, you know, my sibling says, yeah, go do what you want, like me and my partner might sneak off. But again, I'm not counting on any of that. I'm really hoping this goes smoothly for me. I'm not gonna lie, I will be disappointed, especially if Fantasmic doesn't work out, but I don't know, best laid plans and all. So those are big must-dos. Like the nighttime spectaculars for me are pretty huge because we have gotten to do most other things when we went in 2022. Other than the nighttime spectaculars on Friday and Saturday when it's just my partner and I, there are a bunch of rides we want to hit up that, you know, we just are pretty sure that the kids won't want to do or are literally too small to even attempt to do. To help achieve this, I am absolutely planning on buying Lightning Lane Multipass on Friday. Maybe we buy it on Saturday. If Friday is really productive and we feel like we don't need it on Saturday, then great. If Friday is very unproductive, you know, I might even buy Premier Pass on Saturday. We'll have to play it by ear and see how that goes. The biggest priority, I think, is Haunted Mansion because that was down when we were there in 2022. So I have not been on the Disneyland Haunted Mansion as an adult, something I definitely really want to do. Both Indiana Jones and Small World are down for refurbishment, which of course is a bummer, but that's kind of what we get for going at not super peak time. Like, it is spring break time, but it's not peak spring break according to Disney. But luckily, I thought that the railroad and the monorail would be down while we were there, but they are back up. So I'm excited to at least get those back into the rotation. And so honestly, there aren't a ton of priority rides for me, but I mean, there is a lot of priority food. Very excitingly, on Thursday, my partner and I have secured a reservation for the chef's counter at Napa Rose. I absolutely cannot wait. Then Friday, just my partner and myself will be doing brunch at Lamplight Lounge, as well as grabbing drinks at the Carthay Circle Lounge. And then later is the World of Color dessert party. Saturday, my partner and I will be grabbing an early lunch at Cafe Orleans with the intent of doing the Fantasmic Dining Package. Again, intending to ask for the second show, but we'll see how that all works out. Then Sunday, just my partner and myself are grabbing an early lunch at Trader Sam's. We're very excited about that one. And then assuming my family's flight goes fine, the whole gang is going to grab dinner at Goofy's Kitchen together. Monday, we have no table service dining reservations, and then Tuesday, we do have a lunch for all 7 of us at Centrico. That was one of the few places that seemed like it had a very interesting menu for adults and children. Things the children would eat, but things that were not just chicken tenders. So I'm hoping we'll get to do that one. It is like a semi-outdoor experience, so it is going to depend on the weather. We may end up canceling, depending. And of course, outside of table service, Disneyland is known for its quality of food, including quick service. So here are some highlights that I definitely want to hit. It will still be food and wine at DCA while we're there, so I'm sure we're going to pick up some food from the food and wine booths. Also, Jolly Holiday is back open, so this is another thing that I thought would be closed while we were there. It has, as I'm filming this, just recently reopened. It'll have been open for, I think, a couple weeks by the time we get down there, so can't wait. There's so many good snacks. I can't wait. There's that garlic cheesy bread that everybody loves. I definitely want to get one of those and slam it. It's probably delicious. Then last time we were there, the shawarma cart was open, but we just didn't have the time or belly space, so that is something I'm going to prioritize this trip. And I've not been since the Pacific Wharf area became San Francisco Square. And 1, I love Big Hero 6, so I'm excited to spend some time in the land. But 2, there just are a lot of good quick service food options there, so I'm sure we will eat there at least once, if not multiple times. All right, those were kind of the big categories in terms of trip timing, accommodations, nighttime spectaculars, must-do attractions, table service dining, and quick service dining, so let's do a quick trip sketch. Thursday, my partner and I will arrive to the airport. We are flying to LAX. I often see questions about what airport you should fly into because there are a lot of options in the Disneyland area. In my opinion, that's way more based on the timing of the flight you can find and for the price. So like, I could fly into John Wayne, but I can't do that direct, versus I can get a direct for a pretty reasonable price to LAX. So yeah, I am going to do that. We are not renting a car. We're just gonna get a rideshare out to the Disneyland Resort area to our arrival night Hilton. I know that rideshare is going to be expensive, but it will still be cheaper than the upcharge I would have had to pay to fly into like Burbank or Ontario or John Wayne compared to LAX. Plus, personally, these days, I'm always just trying to fly direct if I can. In my head, if I fly direct, as soon as I'm on the plane actually takes off, then, we're pretty smooth sailing, fingers crossed. As opposed to if I have to make a stop in San Francisco or St. Louis or Atlanta, wherever, like if you have to make a connection, that's just one more place for your trip to possibly go wrong. So I try to eliminate that if possible. Once we're able to check into the hotel, freshen up, settle down a little bit, we'll probably just go over to downtown Disney and hang out. Depending on the timing, we may also try to grab like a single drink before our Napa Rose dinner. Parkside Market in downtown Disney looks pretty cute, but of course there is the Palm Breeze bar at Villas at Disneyland Hotel. There's also a couple pretty cute bars inside Grand California itself, so we'll just see where the day takes us. Then it's Chef's Counter at Napa Rose. I think this is going to be 2 to 3 hours in length, so again, I'm not really counting on getting anything else done after this. If we get to do a distance firework viewing, great, but I'm not going to push for it. Friday, we move from the Hilton over to the Villas at the Grand Californian. And our bodies will still be on East Coast time, so I am hopeful that we will be up pretty early Pacific time. We're able to make that hotel move and then still do rope drop for early entry. But regardless, if not, again, we're planning on buying multi-pass to make the most of our time. We've got brunch at Lamplight Lounge. I anticipate sometime after brunch, we will do some park hopping. Then very early evening, we've got drinks at the Carthay Lounge. I'm guessing we grab quick service dinner after that. In my head, that will be the shawarma, but we will see. And then we've got the World of Color dessert party for the first World of Color, and depending on how we're feeling, maybe we try to sneak over to do like standby viewing of the second Fantasmic showing. That probably will be something I push for, honestly, if we're not like absolutely dead. Saturday, Disneyland has early entry, and again, I'm pretty sure we will be awake and up and ready to go, but if we are tired and able to sleep in, then that's fine with me. Between the travel day Thursday and probably running ourselves ragged on Friday, I'm guessing Saturday we will start to be more tired. We'll do that Cafe Orleans early lunch and try to secure the Fantasmic dining package, and then if we take a midday break, like, that totally makes sense to me. Otherwise, no huge plans for this day. Definitely get done the rides that we didn't the day before or anything we want to revisit. The main goal really is going to be fireworks from Main Street and then the Fantasmic showing. Sunday, we will move from the villas at the Grand Californian over to the villas at the Disneyland Hotel. I'm sure that the room will not be ready in the morning, but that's fine. We will entertain ourselves looking around the resorts and just enjoying the vibe. Plus, we've got lunch at Trader Sam's, so that should be very fun. I'm not too sure what we're going to do during the day. Of course, there's Downtown Disney. There's a cool bar not too far away called Blind Rabbit we might check out. We'll see. Then we've got dinner at Goofy's Kitchen with my family, and again, like, maybe distanced fireworks. Monday and Tuesday, I'm really trying not to plan almost anything, really a go with the flow vibe. What do the kids want to do? What are they up for? We'll see. There are 3 kids and there will be 4 adults, so it's also possible we may break off into separate smaller groups to accomplish different things. Monday we will start at DCA, and then Tuesday we will start at Disneyland, and Tuesday again we do have lunch at Centrico. Then Wednesday we wake up and all depart. Again, my partner and I will be off to Napa for a few days, and my family's just going back home. It's definitely taking a lot for me not to be too much of a control freak about the time when I'm with my family. You know, I really like to have an agenda. I'm definitely plan A, but I know that it's kind of just not even worth the effort. So it'll be interesting to tour the parks in a very new way for me. Not only this more like plan B, go with the flow style, but also with children. And also while I'm with my family, I don't know if I'm going to be filming hardly at all. I definitely want to be present and in the moment with them. Plus, I'm not interested in putting the children's faces on the internet, so it kind of seems like a waste to even try to film. But I'm excited to come back and share with you the snippets that I can. Definitely some stuff from when it is just my partner and myself and the kids aren't there yet. Thanks to everyone who has liked this video and subscribed to the channel. Once you're subscribed, you can ring the bell icon to receive notifications whenever I post new videos. And there definitely will be some Disneyland content coming soon. I cannot wait to experience for myself and then subsequently be able to edit and show you Chef's Counter at Napa Rose. Between Chef's Counter at Napa Rose and getting to stay at the villas at Grand Californian, this trip already feels like a dream. These are things I never thought that we would be able to do. Thanks so much for your support of the channel. It really does mean a lot to me, and it does honestly make going on these trips more fun. May the rest of your day be magical, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.